Tonight, Facebook's about face. The tech giant backflips on its Aussie news douse that's threatening the tourism future of Kakadu National Park. Why the lawyer for NT Police is opposing access to documents in the Kumanjai Walker murder case. Another day, another headache for the Gunner government, and now the infighting's begun. Plus an emotional rescue reunion and a warning for all boaties from a lucky survivor.
This is 9 News Done.
Good evening. Rogue MP Craig Kelly has plunged the government into a fresh crisis tonight, sensationally quitting the Liberal Party to move to the crossbench. It leaves Prime Minister Scott Morrison with a precarious majority and overshadowed a move to permanently increase unemployment benefits.
When troubles come, they come in legions.
Well, with a very heavy heart, I've resigned as a member of the Liberal Party.
Sydney MP Craig Kelly has dramatically quit the government in a week when the Prime Minister is also battling disturbing allegations from 4 women that an ex-Liberal staffer is a serial sex offender. But Scott Morrison is striking a defiant tone.
I want to assure all Australians that I can tell you nothing will distract me or my government from my pledge to them to save lives and save livelihoods.
The latest distraction says he will not interfere with government money bills or vote to bring it down.
I will of course support the government on matters of supply, confidence and procedure.
But the numbers on all other votes now couldn't be tighter.
Can the Prime Minister confirm that today the government has lost its majority on the floor of the House of Representatives?
The status of the parties in the House is as a matter of common knowledge.
The government now has 76 members in a lower house of 151 MPs, but one is the Speaker who only votes when the House is deadlocked. Craig Kelly lifts the crossbench numbers to 7, and if they vote with Labor's 68 MPs, the numbers are tied at 75 each.
I've been subject to a slander and smear campaign.
Craig Kelly was recently censured by the Prime Minister for undermining confidence in the vaccine rollout.
What do you say to your colleagues who say that you are selfish, you are self-centred, you are doing this only for you?
I'm doing this because I believe we can save lives.
The latest drama came on a day when the government moved to permanently increase the rate of unemployment benefits.
We need to ensure that we have a system that is fair and sustainable for the people who need it and the taxpayers who pay for it.
The job seeker base rate will rise by just over $50 a fortnight to $620.80. The parenting payment and youth allowance will get similar boosts.
This is the single biggest increase in unemployment benefits since 1986.
All benefits will fall by $150 a fortnight at the end of March when the emergency COVID supplements are withdrawn. So the permanent increase of $4 a day is being dismissed by some as an insult.
A heartless betrayal of the millions of people who have been hit by unemployment.
We're a great nation, but this is such a dumb thing to do, to treat the poorest of the poor this way.
The Prime Minister says his only focus is on getting the unemployed back to work, but he has a few other things on his mind. Chris Ullman, 9 News.
We now go to political editor Chris Ullman in Canberra with details on a win for the government in its fight against Facebook.
Facebook has refriended Australia and will reboot local and international news feeds. They were shut off last week in a spat over the government's media bargaining laws, designed to force the tech giants to pay for the news they run, which is made by Australian companies, because billions in local advertising dollars are being hoovered offshore. The Treasurer had 6 calls with Facebook founder Mark Zuckerberg over the last 2 days and hammered out an agreement to make a couple of minor amendments to the bill that don't change its intent. So Facebook will return to the negotiating table with local media companies. The government will claim a significant victory and everyone will enjoy the kind of friendship you have on social media: transactional, fleeting and impersonal.
Tensions between Parks Australia and the traditional owners of Kakadu have been reignited, with calls for Canberra to commit more resources. There are now industry concerns that any further breakdowns in relations could have dire effects on an already failing tourist destination.
A rough and rugged terrain with an even rockier relationship between the joint bodies entrusted to govern it. Kakadu's future left uncertain.
And in this post-COVID world, when we get there, we need Kakadu fully functioning.
According to an ABC Four Corners report, traditional owners are threatening to close popular tourist spots over claims Parks Australia has mismanaged the World Heritage Site, a move that would jeopardise tourism.
That would be extremely damaging to businesses, to jobs, to the reputation of the park.
It's a long-standing issue, with visitor numbers already on the decline pre-COVID.
We've seen a decline in the last decade of over 30,000 arrivals year on year.
The NT Minister for Tourism says she'll be reaching out to the Federal Environment Minister.
Any attraction that would be closed would be a disappointment, so I see it as a key priority to working to understand those concerns.
In a written statement, Parks Australia says we agree that significant change is required. We are committed to continuing this work with traditional owners to ensure effective joint management and shared decision-making for Kakadu. The upheaval follows the recent closure of the Ranger uranium mine in Jabiru, with the town set to be handed over to the Mirarr traditional owners in June.
What we want to do is make Jabiru the town in the park.
And as money is poured into transforming the town into a tourism hub, it's hoped any threats to close the park it wants to capitalise on aren't followed through.
We don't believe it will. We don't believe it needs to. We just hope that Canberra are listening.
Amy Clements, 9 News.
The case against a decorated police officer charged with murdering a Yuandamu teen during an attempted arrest returned to court today. As Nine's Zarisha Bradley reports, the lawyer for colleagues of Zachary Rolfe moved to oppose a pre-trial application by prosecutors.
In the latest development in the case, Crown prosecutors are applying for records of conversations between Zachary Rolfe's colleagues and their lawyer following the 2019 shooting death of Warlpiri teenager Kumanjai Walker. Darwin defence lawyer Ray Murphy producing redacted case notes of instructions provided by the officers after being issued a subpoena to attend court today. Following instructions by his clients, Mr Murphy is opposing the disclosure of the documents to the Crown.
They're the ones that have made the application. They're simply asking for documents that are subject to legal privilege. My clients are exercising their rights to protect lawyer-client communication.
In the matter's brief pre-trial hearing, the court also heard the trial set down in late July for 4 weeks could be broadcast over YouTube for the Yuandamu community to view, subject to technical issues. Defence barrister David Edwardson QC raised concerns of not knowing whether potential witnesses were watching the live feed. The matter will return again next month, where Chief Justice Michael Grant is expected to make a decision on the YouTube link.
A terrifying ordeal for 3 top-end taxi drivers allegedly threatened this morning by a teen brandishing an edged weapon and demanding money. Fortunately, the trio managed to flee their vehicles before calling police to Henry Ellis Street in Elloa. The 15-year-old girl's been charged with 3 counts of assault with intent to steal while armed and 3 counts of being armed in public. A lone yachty plucked from shark-infested waters off the Nhulunbuy coast has shared his extraordinary tale of survival. As Nigel Fox was today reunited with those who helped save his life, his rescuers turned the praise back on him.
Grinning from ear to ear, Nigel Fox has the ultimate reason to smile.
They've given me probably another 20, 30 years of life. How do you thank somebody for that?
The experienced boatie, well rested and today reunited, overwhelmed with gratitude for his saviours.
Where I was is very, very thick with tiger sharks. I kept my hands underwater and I was sculling to make sure I didn't make any aquatic noise.
And he did for 5 exhausting hours. It was here, 100 kilometres northeast of Nhulunbuy, Nigel was last month spotted stranded from his yacht, knocked off his vessel, first by wild waves.
The jackline caught around my leg. I was head and shoulders down and I was on the lee side of the yacht, so I was just pushing my head constantly underwater.
And then...
planning my way, climb back on board, when the actual life jacket self-inflated, the drag from that actually pulled me off.
But this lone sailor was well prepared, activating his registered emergency beacon. The Australian Maritime Safety Authority deploying a jet from Cairns.
Coming into the position, first thing we noticed was there was no vessel. The tension in the aircraft picks up pretty heavily.
A life raft was dropped to the waving target before NT police arrived, bundling him into their boat.
He's the one that saved his own life that day. We're just a result of the actions that he took.
Nigel now using his story as a poignant lesson for others.
That's the item that saved my life. So important. Because these guys, they know then who they're coming to look for.
A rescue mission with the ending we all want.
I could have died 4th of Jan. As it is now, 23rd of Feb, I'm still here.
Talia Sav, 9 News.
An amazing story. Well, a government staff member has received a formal warning over accusations they threatened and harassed a CLP member. It's another hit to the Labor Party, still facing ongoing controversy over the alleged cocaine sex scandal.
A serious charge levelled at a government staffer. CLP member for Breitling, Joshua Burgoyne, alleging he was approached outside Parliament House late last week.
And said to the member for Breitling words to the effect of, "You're that expletive Josh Burgoyne. You better watch your language, watch what you say."
Moving a motion to send the staffer to face the Powerful Privileges Committee.
The use by the employee of threatening, abusive and harassing words directed to the member for Breitling in knowledge of and connection to the participation by the member for Breitling in the Legislative Assembly.
Labor revealed a ministerial officer for Attorney General Selina Yubo had owned up to the confrontation. The government insisting it was taking the matter seriously but refused to send it to Privileges.
The staff member apologised unreservedly. A formal warning has been issued.
My staff member's conduct was out of character and in no way reflects my values, the values of our Labor government or my ministerial office.
Shutting down the motion prompted a barrage of anger from the other side.
This is an absolute, utter, disgusting disgrace.
The last week has demonstrated to me that your team's falling apart. The wheels are coming off. And Territorians can see it.
It's another blow for Labor's reputation after a damaging week. As the disgraced member for Blaine shuns work inside Parliament, the Palmerston branch of Young Labor threw its support behind him, taking to Facebook urging the party not to revoke his membership and that an affair is not sufficient grounds for expulsion, ending with, "He is human, he has made a mistake." In a sign of division, the message also took a dig at the Chief Minister. "I also write to you in the hopes you will assist us in our search for our parliamentary leader's vertebrae." The post promptly removed, Young Labor telling 9 News it had no comment, while Michael Gunner slapped it down.
While the kids play with the memes, we have to make decisions, and we have made those decisions and we stand by those decisions.
For the 9th day in a row, the Chief Minister again forced to defend his government's actions in dealing with the scandal. Kathleen Gazzola, 9 News.
New technology is providing an innovative way to capture water from the atmosphere in the Territory Desert before converting it to renewable hydrogen. A trial is set to take place in Tennant Creek as part of the government's investment in green energy.
Allow us to provide renewable energy where and when you require it.
We do want to achieve our target of net zero emissions, but also our renewable target.
Collected data will be used to further optimise the water capture process. Almost a year to the day since COVID-19 claimed the first American life, the nation's official death toll from the virus has surpassed 500,000. The stunning figure is the equivalent of a 9/11 attack every day for almost 6 months. The US President today leading a national moment of silence.
On the White House steps, a solemn scene. A moment's silence and a prayer. "500 candles burning brightly, honouring 500,000 lives lost."
There's nothing ordinary about them. The people we lost were extraordinary.
With flags at half-mast and the bells tolling at Washington's National Cathedral. An emotional President Biden spoke candidly about grief.
The small things, the tiny things that you miss the most. That scent when you open the closet. That park you go by that you used to stroll in. They're never truly gone. They'll always be part of your heart.
A nation mourning so many who should still be here.
We've done worse than most any other country.
and we're a highly developed, rich country.
Capitol Hill also fell silent, lawmakers marking a milestone which has broken families and scuttled the economy. The President hoping his COVID recovery bill will pass later this week. And while COVID cases and hospitalisations are declining across the states, a warning it's too soon to relax.
This thing could bounce back with the variants very, very quickly.
The new administration is on track to hit its goal, 100 million vaccinations by the end of April, with an average of 1.7 million shots going into arms every day.
There is light in the darkness. We will get through this, I promise you.
In the United States, Amelia Adams, 9 News.
Boris Johnson has released a 4-step path out of England's third coronavirus lockdown, saying this time it'll be a one-way road to freedom. The British Prime Minister is hopeful his ambitious vaccine program will pay off. All going to plan, children will return to school in a fortnight and pubs will reopen as early as April, while June 21 is marked as the day England will return to normality. New Zealand has detected a new case of COVID-19 in the community, with an Auckland student returning a positive swab hours after the city moved back to alert level 1. The girl had been told to self-isolate and get tested after an outbreak at her school on February 14. All students and teachers will now need to be retested. Time for a quick look at the weather with Talia Sav. And Talia, there's been some severe storm activity.
That's right, PT. Slow-moving thunderstorms have developed over central parts of the top end. Within just 1 hour this afternoon, we saw nearly 50 millimetres fall at Adelaide River's Dirty Lagoon, with heavy falls also impacting the Arnhem district this evening. Back in the city, though, today, there wasn't that much rain around. We saw a couple of showers here and there, otherwise relatively fine. We can feel that wind, picking up a little bit more now, and sprinkles of rain are also starting to fall, PT. I'll be back later in the Bulletin with your full weather forecast.
Stay dry, Talia. See you then. Ahead in 9 News, the helping hand for agricultural producers affected by drought. Plus, see and hear the moment NASA touched down on the red planet. Almost 50 kilograms of magic mushrooms seized from a suburban shed.
Welcome to the Rat House.
It's like a plague over there.
They're the neighbours from hell.
There's hundreds in there now. There'll be thousands soon.
Now the fight to get rid of this rat trap. And a current affair like no other next.
Hey, I'm Coco. Just like a chocolate milkshake, only crunchy.
She's unashamedly,
Killing it. Give me a bit of cat vomiting on the carpet.
inexcusably,
That's showbiz, baby.
Coco.
Giving me all the razzle dazzle.
And boy, oh boy, does she pop. Which groom
Hopefully, he's willing to be the Kanye to my Kim.
will go for Coco? Find out tonight, 7:30.
We're here for the road less travelled. And we're here for peak hour. We're here for the smooth, and we're here for the rough. And whatever else the territory can throw at you. Literally. That's why we offer the option for no excess for 1 windscreen replacement and 2 windscreen repairs. Because we live here too. Yep. TIO Comprehensive Car Insurance. We're for Territorians.
There's inspiration everywhere when it comes to color. Through your day, when you go out, you're looking around, you see trees, you see plants, you see buildings, you see somebody else's house. You think, hey, that would look good on my place. Wherever you get your color inspiration from, we have a color to match here at Bunnings. So go find the colors that inspire you, and we'll help put it in a can.
Bunnings Warehouse.
Bring your color inspiration to life.
The Beds Are Us Aussie-made price blitz is on. This Sleepmaker Miracoil Hillier queen size just $9.99. Huge range of sleepyhead mattresses and adjustable beds. All on sale now. Beds Are Us, the home of Australian-made mattresses.
9 News Darwin, proudly brought to you by TIO, insurance for Territorians.
Prince William has spoken publicly about his grandfather's health for the first time since he was admitted to hospital a week ago. William telling a royal photographer the 99-year-old Iron Duke is okay.
After days of silence from Buckingham Palace, an insight into Prince Philip's condition from his grandson, the Duke of Cambridge. Prince William sharing the update with renowned royal photographer Arthur Edwards during a visit to a vaccination centre in England's east.
I asked Prince William, how's the Duke, and he said he's okay. He said the doctors keep their eye on him. Well, and he was smiling.
It's the first we've heard from the royal family about the Duke's health after Prince Charles's sombre hospital visit sparked speculation. Arthur Edwards, who's photographed 7 royal weddings, 4 funerals and 8 births, says it's a relief.
It was a lovely conversation. And of course, after he told me that, I felt, you know, that probably Duke is okay. He's not fully fit. He's 99, but I think he's been out of the hospital in a couple of days.
This is Prince Philip's 7th night here in hospital, which is much longer than originally expected, and it's still unclear exactly what he's receiving treatment for. Police officers remain stationed at King Edward VII Hospital as gestures from well-wishers grow. In London, Karianne Greenbank, 9 News.
It's been revealed millions in federal funding is still available for Territory agricultural producers severely affected by drought. Response and Recovery Chair Shane Stone's been meeting with local stakeholders, reminding them the money is a hand up, not a handout.
The drought is not over, despite very welcome rain. People look out their window and they say, but it's raining and the grass is green. But down around Alice Springs, the drought is as bad as it's ever been.
Mr Stone acknowledges there have been delays in rolling out the funding, but it is being worked on. New South Wales Police have uncovered one of the biggest magic mushroom drug labs in the state's history. Almost 50 kilograms of the hallucinogenic fungi was seized in a raid on a professional setup.
At a property in Sydney, this is no ordinary shed. Inside, a DIY cool room, and inside that, a library of magic mushrooms. There was just a small padlock protecting the psychedelic stash worth $700,000.
It's quite uncommon. On record, this is one of the largest ones ever seized in New South Wales.
Police in hazmat suits uncovered 46.3 kilograms of the hallucinogenic fungi after neighbours' noses tipped them off.
Strange smells, which led to us making further inquiries. The quantity seized is a surprise. It's a huge quantity for a drug that's not overly common.
Police allege 26-year-old Michael Soretta was the mastermind behind the mounds of magic mushrooms. It took officers 3 days to go through it. They also searched his car and allegedly seized more drugs and more than $50,000 in cash.
It was quite an elaborate setup. It was a professional operation, and we believe there were more people involved.
Police say it's been a decade since they've had to pull apart a magic mushroom drug lab, and this setup was like nothing they'd ever seen. But the rental property, which belongs to an elderly woman, has now been left damaged and too dangerous to enter. As for the fungi, it'll be a trip to the incinerator. Hannah Sinclair, 9 News.
An attempt by Donald Trump to keep his tax returns under lock and key has failed. The US Supreme Court rejecting his request to block prosecutors' access to his financial information. The former president is being probed for possible tax crimes, as well as potential bank and insurance fraud. He has condemned the investigation as a witch hunt. The wife of Mexican drug lord El Chapo is facing drug charges of her own. The 31-year-old arrested at an American airport for allegedly conspiring to traffic cocaine, methamphetamine, heroin and marijuana. She's also accused of helping her husband escape from a Mexican prison. NASA's Mars rover has beamed stunning video back to its control centre, giving Earthlings a front row seat to life on the red planet. The spectacle, remarkable to see and hear, the space agency also capturing the first ever sound recording from Mars. The gentle buzz that you hear at first is the sound of the rover itself, while the louder rumbling is a Martian breeze blowing. Still to come in 9 News, the popular tea recalled after a chemical contamination. We reveal Coles' big change to keep more plastic out of landfill. And the incredible tale of a teenage dog walker who became a lifesaver.
Australia's new welfare payment bonus. The first increase in more than 2 decades. The system, the history, the fallout. A current affair next.
Secret love for 60 years, played out on a mountainside.
No one knew about their secret camping trips until they vanished without a trace.
Liz Hayes and a crack team of criminal minds.
The orange colour on the outside started to ignite.
Pieced together what really happened to Carol and Russell.
How did those gas bottles get into the fire?
She's the last person that actually saw it.
Under investigation, Monday after Married at First Sight on 9.
Jeez, I got a great offer on my new Toyota. I'm still feeling it.
Get the new Hilux 4x4 SR5 with free on-roads. Oh, what a feeling. Toyota.
Now this is a story all about how fast food got flipped, turned upside down. I took one huge bite of that foot-long bread and said, yo, skip the grease and eat fresh instead.
Gone fishing? Have some cracker photos to prove it. Enter Channel 9's Catch of the Day competition and you could win this awesome prize pack. Send your fishing photos to newsphotos@9.com.au to win.
The Macarthur River Mine, producing minerals for products we use every day, creating job opportunities, developing lifelong skills, remote regions, supporting community projects, investing in locals, nurturing future generations. How are they all connected? Through one natural resources company, Glencore. Discover how we're connecting possibilities every day.
How do you choose a plumber to look after your home or business? Do you look for reliable, friendly service, or is it the price? Is it 24/7, 365 days a year emergency repairs? Is it top quality workmanship? At NT Plumbing Maintenance Service, we cover all your emergency service needs, from fixing leaky taps and toilets, clearing blocked drains, burst water mains, drain camera inspections and leak detection. So when you choose a plumber to look after what matters to you, choose the plumber that does all this and more. NT Plumbing Maintenance Service, the clear choice.
An award-winning super fund could be your ticket to a winning future. As one of Australia's most consistent performers, Hester has achieved platinum status 15 years in a row. With Hester, your future's looking good as gold. Hester, time to invest in yourself.
Tomorrow, as JobSeeker receives a boost, we reveal how to make sure you're eligible.
Plus, Harry and Meghan's great mate, Dean Stott, joins us from LA. He's chatting about the world's most famous couple ahead of their interview with Oprah. We'll see you from 5:30.
A popular brand of tea has been recalled over chemical contamination. Customers are urged not to consume Narada Organics Lemon and Ginger Organic Herbal Infusion Tea. There are fears it may contain ethylene oxide, which is used for sterilisation. The product, sold at Woolworths, Coles and IGA, can be returned for a full refund. A B-double has barrelled into a home at Inverleigh in Victoria, just metres from where the woman inside was taking a shower. The truck smashed into the house after colliding with a school bus that was seconds away from picking up students.
A school bus, B-double and a smashed home. It looks like a recipe for disaster, but fortunately today, just a very close call.
It was a shock, so I think they're thinking they're lucky stars.
This coach was metres from picking up students on the main stretch of Inverleigh around 8 this morning when the bus company says an empty grain truck failed to give way and slammed into the driver's side.
Thought a plane had landed down the main street and come flying out and
Yeah, just unbelievable scene.
The force of impact resulted in the rig coming to a crashing stop in the front of this home. The woman inside had only walked out of that bedroom seconds before.
I don't know what an earthquake is like, but I imagine it's quite similar. There was a lot of crashing, broken glass, and the house was sort of shaking.
The 28-year-old truckie escaped injury, but the man behind the wheel of the bus wasn't so lucky. Airlifted to the Royal Melbourne with a broken leg.
He was just a bit shocked and just was concerned for his kids that he had to get to school.
Despite its size, the process to remove this rig was relatively straightforward, with traffic stopped, allowing for a second truck to come in and literally haul it out of the home. Incredibly, the only damage to the house is what you can see at the front, the 100-year-old property clearly standing the pressure. The residents won't even have to move out while this mess is repaired. Stephanie Anderson, 9 News.
3 years after banning single-use plastic bags, Coles is removing plastic cutlery, plates and cups from its shelves. The supermarket making the move in response to overwhelming customer feedback, and Woolworths is making plans to follow suit.
It's a picnic staple about to disappear from the picnic table.
I think it's a good thing. We've got way too much plastic.
Coles is removing all single-use plastic plates, cups, bowls, cutlery and straws from shelves.
We still have an affordable range of paperware available, and so it's really not going to be a huge change for our customers. So this was really a small change that we could make that would have a significant impact on the environment.
From July, plastic picnicware will no longer be sold, a move Coles claims would avert 1.5 million kilograms of single-use plastic waste from landfill each year.
Australians care about their environment. They don't want to see single-use plastic items discarded and ending up as landfill.
The supermarket says the decision to stop selling plastic tableware was driven by customer feedback, with the majority of shoppers saying they are concerned about the environment and want more sustainable alternatives.
I'm quite happy with that because there's too much packaging, too much plastic, and it drives me nuts.
Absolutely. I think it's a great idea. Yeah, I think, look, everyone is trying to go natural.
Woolworths has already stopped selling plastic straws and confirmed to 9 News it will also phase out plastic picnicware, but hasn't said when. It has committed to making all Woolies brand packaging recyclable by 2023. Kate Creedon, 9 News.
Royal fans will have a TV marathon come March 7. The Queen's set to address the UK in a special Commonwealth Day broadcast. The same day, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex do their tell-all interview with Oprah. Harry and Meghan have released a teaser for their new podcast, the first time they've been seen since finalising their decision to step down as senior royals. This boy has a dog walker to thank for saving his life in Texas. The teenager was strolling past a frozen lake when she spotted the 11-year-old struggling in the ice. She tried knocking on surrounding doors for help before calling her grandfather to wade in and pull the boy to safety. Her dog also fell in, but was quickly hoisted out. Still ahead in 9 News, why Australian researchers say playing chess is a good move for kids. The campaign to restore confidence and get you back on cruise ships. And what you can do now to prepare your paperwork for a vaccination certificate.
Welcome to the Rat House.
It's like a plague over there.
Now the fight to get rid of this rat trap. A current affair next.
Australia. Whoever came up with this place deserves a pat on the back. I mean, think about it. There's birds who can laugh, mammals who can sing, and walls that can tell stories. There's cities that start where the waves end, and 26 million weird and wonderful characters. This is a place that took one look at the rulebook and said, nah, here's a platypus. And you know the most incredible thing of all? A holiday here this year is just what we all need. So get out there, Australia. The best is in your backyard.
For the wet and dry season, Yeti is built for the NC. Camping World and Complete Angler are your authorised Yeti dealer. Our huge Yeti display holds the cold and keeps the heat. Find the right Yeti cooler or drinkware for your next outdoor adventure. From Ramblers to Tundras to the irresistible Yeti Colster can coolers. Beat the territory heat and step up to the real thing. Your Yeti authorised dealer is Camping World and Complete Angler Darwin.
Never have I ever had a bite and booked a night. Doubletree by Hilton Esplanade Darwin is finally reopening its hotel rooms and suites. To celebrate, we have created your perfect staycation in Darwin. Dream all night in our signature Sweet Dreams bed. Sip a glass of wine overlooking the largest pool in the CBD. And enjoy a $100 voucher that can be used at 5 establishments. Don't wait. Your warm Doubletree choc chip cookie awaits. Use your Territory Tourism voucher at tourismtopend.com.au.
Introducing Macca's new fruit smoothies with no added sugar and protein options. And new salads with 100% Aussie RSPCA approved chicken breast. Or try the new chicken wraps in honey soy or aioli flavours. All prepared to order. There's more to love at Macca's.
The plate clearance is on now at Bridge Toyota with incredible offers on popular models like 3.9% on selected models across the CHR, Corolla Hatch and Corolla Sedan range, starting from just $93 per week with Toyota Access for Corolla Hatch Hybrid and starting from only $94 per week with Toyota Access for CHR GXL. Race into Bridge Toyota Darwin and Palmerston as these offers won't last. Oh, what a feeling. Toyota.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, look out, here they come.
The greatest game of all is back.
Here we go again.
The glory.
Oh, my goodness.
And passion.
Now you can start cheering.
A season that changes everything.
That is unbelievable.
The NRL ignites on 9. The NRL kicks off March 11 on 9.
The coroner's calling for more research into the long-term effects of head knocks in sport following the death of former St Kilda star Danny Frawley. His family today welcomed the findings, saying it helped them better understand the tragedy of his death.
To many, Danny Frawley was always the life of the party, but underneath he fought a private battle. To his family, Mr Frawley would lie in bed all week and be extremely needy. He would be able to put on a brave public face and give the appearance of normal functioning. The Victorian coroner today confirming the 56-year-old had stage 2 CTE, caused by repeated knocks to the head.
Stage 2 is quite significant and does present as changes in behaviour and mood.
The former footballer turned commentator died when his four-wheel drive hit a tree in regional Victoria in September 2019. He was suffering depression and wasn't taking medication. The coroner now calling for more professional athletes to donate their brains to unlock CTE.
I think we need to acknowledge that concussion is a brain injury. It's not just a knock to the head.
Danny's family also wants more research, saying the findings have helped us to better understand the tragedy of his death. Danny was suffering and as a family we knew his behaviour had changed. Former players like Sean Smith know the symptoms and wants Aussie rules footballers to sit out a month on the sidelines after a concussion.
A lot of players, they say they feel okay and are good to play, but really they're not. And then when you get damage on damage, it just keeps multiplying.
And player agent Peter Jess says scientific testing protocols must be introduced by the AFL.
I've been a strong believer that they need to do more.
The AFL today said it acknowledges the coroner's findings and also encourages players to donate their brains, assisting with further rule changes to protect the overall health of footballers at all levels.
Anyone out there who's not feeling well, just go and get some help.
Dougal Beattie, 9 News.
A COVID vaccination could become our future ticket to international travel and possibly even determine where we can shop or eat. So how do you prove you've had it? Fiona Willen explains.
Once you get a COVID-19 jab, you can access your vaccination certificate in 4 ways. Through the vaccine provider, the Express Plus Medicare app, by contacting Services Australia, or by logging into your MyGov account and visiting Medicare, where you'll find it on the Australian Immunisation Registry. And to make that process more secure, the government has now linked MyGov to the nation's digital ID system, MyGov ID.
And of course, the vaccination certificate that'll be available for Australians will be available through MyGov, and digital identity is the safest, easiest way to access MyGov.
The digital ID isn't just for downloading your vaccination certificate. It can currently be used to access 75 government services online, and the plan is to expand it to the private sector so that you can use it to check your bank details or your electricity bill. It replaces the traditional 100-point ID check that you'd usually do at a bank or Australia Post.
Well, if you want a quick, simple interaction with a government service, you can use your digital ID rather than presenting physical ID.
2 million Australians have signed up for a digital identity, and the government wants more people to do it as the vaccination program ramps up to ensure your details are more secure and you're the only person who can access your certificate.
Chess is being touted as the best move for children to learn healthy, risk-taking behaviours. Researchers at Melbourne's Monash University found the battle of the minds can help set them up for life in the classroom and beyond.
9-year-old Aiden has been playing chess since he was 5. What does it take to be a good chess player?
Thinking ahead.
Right now, the game's enjoying peak popularity with Queen's Gambit, the story of a female chess prodigy, one of the most watched shows on Netflix.
Chess isn't always competitive. Chess can also be beautiful.
A long way from Hollywood, Professor Asad Islam has done the research. For children, he says, the game can be life-changing.
What we find immediately that their math ability improves and they are able to think rationally.
He spent 4 weeks in rural Bangladesh studying the impact learning chess had on 400 young students who'd never seen or heard of the game. The most surprising finding? It improved their risk-taking ability.
Because it involves sacrificing something now to gain something in future. So sometimes it involves risk.
And it seems more and more schools are now introducing chess programs. Here at Templestowe Heights Primary, the children are having lessons for the very first time.
I haven't played before, so I'm a bit nervous but mostly excited.
I definitely think it's about the transferable skills, allowing children to learn skills in a chess situation and be able to transfer them to other subjects in the classroom.
And of course, there's nothing wrong with a bit of healthy competition. What's your goal with chess?
To be able to beat my grandfather. Checkmate.
Justine Conway, 9 News.
Almost a year after the Ruby Princess set off a deadly COVID-19 outbreak, cruise companies are preparing to resume passenger voyages. The industry, which has been tarnished by the pandemic, is adopting a raft of health and safety measures to keep people safe.
They're extreme measures to win back passenger support. Viking, the first to introduce on-board laboratories, disinfecting robots, thermal cameras and daily COVID testing. These are just some changes that'll be rolled out by the $5 billion a year cruising industry, crippled by the pandemic.
We have an enormous opportunity to be able to create safe bubbles for travel. In fact, cruise was one of the first travel sectors to completely shut down. And from then, we've been working with the health authorities, working with those medical experts.
The Ruby Princess sparked a catastrophic chain of events in Sydney. More than 900 COVID-19 infections and 28 deaths linked to the ship. With the international travel bans still in place, major liners like P&O Cruises and Carnival are extending their pause on operations until at least June. After that, trips are selling fast. Some almost sold out. A global set of mandatory safety guidelines are now being adopted.
What you'll see first is the ships based in Brisbane and based in Sydney, and what they'll be doing is catering to the local markets.
Maybe back, it'll be a while before you're sailing to destinations outside the Pacific, such as America and Europe. It'll certainly look different in 2021. Reduce crowd sizes and mask wearing where social distancing is impossible. All passengers and crew will be tested for COVID-19 prior to getting on board, and there'll be ventilation.
There's no such thing as foolproof when it comes to health. However,
I think the cruise industry has really gone very much the extra mile.
Vicky Jardim, 9 News.
Coming up next in sport, Lions recruit Joe Danaher explains a bit of history with a new teammate. Plus our exclusive interview with Bronco Alex Glenn ahead of his milestone match. Improvement after the Aussies' first up loss to New Zealand.
Remember me? Your favourite old dogs are back.
Normally we try to be a little more innovative.
Right from the very beginning. New tricks, tonight on 9Jam. The hits, the memories, the experience. Be part of the Killer Queen experience in the top end. Watch in awe as acclaimed Freddie Mercury performer John Blunt and his team bring hits to life March 19 at 89 Mitchell Street, Darwin. This is a Queen tribute show you don't want to miss. Hours of non-stop excitement and will rock you to your core. The Killer Queen experience. Book now at topendshows.com.au.
Welcomes you to enjoy our delicious lunch and dinner menu. Open 7 days. You choose your selection, or let us prepare just the right steak, just the way you like it. Lets you check in and dive in to our stunning tropical pool right on Kavanagh Street. As the sun sets, enjoy live entertainment on the deck, or step inside for more great times, excellent meals, and that true Darwin hospitality. The Cav Hotel, Kavanagh Street in Darwin City.
1041 Territory FM.
Australia. Whoever came up with this place deserves a pat on the back. I mean, think about it. There's birds who can laugh, mammals who can sing, and walls that can tell stories. There's cities that start where the waves end, and 26 million weird and wonderful characters. This is a place that took one look at the rulebook and said, nah, here's a platypus. And you know the most incredible thing of all? A holiday here this year is just what we all need. So get out there, Australia. The best is in your backyard.
Hilux comes with Toyota safety sensor standard.
With a near-flawless pre-season under his belt, Joe Danaher is ready to repay the faith shown to him by Brisbane. But the former Bomber is still sporting a few scars from his time at Tullamarine.
After years of injury turmoil, Joe Danaher is relishing his fresh start in the Sunshine State.
You blink and a few seasons might pass you by, and so I'm just enjoying the moment for now.
But even the prized Lions recruit isn't immune to barbs, with an incident from 2016 involving now teammate Harris Andrews, still in the memory bank.
Yeah, he does remind me every now and then, the Chief. They're still a little bit crooked, so there's still a bit of work to do, but I might wait until the footy career's over before I get them all cleaned up.
Indeed, Danaher's career was at the crossroads, playing just 15 games in the past 3 seasons, but his trade from the Bombers has hope he can finally realise his potential following an uninterrupted pre-season.
Football's a lot more enjoyable when you can get out and work hard and train hard with your teammates.
In Sydney, Tom Papley is Lance Franklin's hamstring recovery as the man himself.
He does give you a massive lift, and his presence out there, his confidence and his excitement brings everyone into the game.
An antagonistic style has become a feature of Papley's game, and he has no plans to tone it down.
I'll always be aggressive as long as I play, and that's a part of my game, and I love the fight of the game, and that's why I love playing footy, the contests, and if you don't like how I play, it doesn't really worry me.
9 News.
4,365 days ago, Alex Glenn made his NRL debut for the Broncos, and he has no plans to hang up his boots anytime soon. Ahead of his testimonial match on Saturday, the veteran forward spoke exclusively to 9 News about his new inspiration for the season.
He's the newest and smallest addition to the Broncos fan club, 1 month old Oakley Glenn, a baby brother to Miller and Giselle.
I got him his new Broncos jersey for 2021, so we've already got our season tickets at the front, so the family's all set to go for a big season.
They'll also be there for his testimonial against the Cowboys on Saturday, honouring Alex Glenn's 13-year association with the Broncos. Proceeds from the game will be donated to his charity of choice. Captain after an injury-disrupted first year as skipper. In the matches he did play, Brisbane 25 points per match.
Going on that we tended to turn into an individual team. You know, we weren't a team, we're individuals out there just trying to look after your own, and the way that we've been training in the off that we're a team again. We feel like brothers out there that want to defend each other and look after each other on the field.
As for plans to expand his off-field team?
Yeah, there's some big decisions to make on whether the missus is happy with driving a minivan or not. But at the moment, we're content with 3.
Adam Jackson.
You could forgive the Eels for erasing last season's straight sets finals exit from their minds. Instead, they're not shying away from their heartache, using it to drive their 2021 campaign.
The Eels have made peace with their finals exit, but for Clint Gutherson, those back-to-back defeats are never too far from his mind. And that
if it doesn't light a fire in you to keep going harder and work harder to make sure you get to those next couple of games, it's you're in it for the wrong reason.
The NRL's most talked about premiership drought is now out to 35 years, and the skipper doesn't need reminding.
We've been hearing that since I got here 6 years ago, so it's nothing new to us. It's something that you sort of got to live with playing here at Parramatta. I love when sort of people doubt you as a player and as a team, and I just love winning, and I hate losing so much. I hate losing more than I like winning.
It's a common theme with when Mitchell Moses was injured last year, Dylan Brown took the reins, but he says not well enough. The 20-year-old believes it's now time to prove himself as a leader.
Just showing the boys that I'm in control and I'm confident and I'm running the team, which I make excuses all the time. Like, I'm young, but that's no excuse. I've been here long enough now, so this year I've got no excuses. I'm just going to go full out.
Settled in on the Central Coast, Roger Tuivasa-Sheck is from the NRL, revealing his emotional decision to stand in front of the entire playing group and personally announce his switch to rugby.
We all realised that it's a professional sport and we're all in the game together, so let's enjoy this last couple games with the team and get on with it.
Sam Jordan, 9 News.
Australia's bowling attack is having to rethink its tactics after being exposed in last night's T20 loss to New Zealand. Kiwi Devon Conway was unstoppable on his way to an unbeaten 99, but our bowlers are refusing to use their 14-day lockdown as an excuse.
No excuses on that front. Everyone was really happy with how he went into the game, but obviously being the first hit out, a little bit disappointing to not get the result.
The Aussies lost by 53 runs. Game 2 is in Dunedin on Thursday. For supercars this weekend, the opening event of the championship will mark the first single driver round at Mount Panorama for 25 years.
Very excited to kickstart the year at Bathurst. Just been talking about this for months, so we just want to get this show on the road. We just want to start this new journey.
Teams will return to the mountain in October for the traditional Bathurst 1000. Talia has your full weather report after the break. And Talia, much rain around tomorrow?
There's a high chance of showers in parts of the top end, but south of Tennant Creek it's unlikely. I'll have those details for next.
Nine News Darwin, proudly brought to you by TIO, insurance for Territorians.
Welcome to the Rat House.
It's like a plague over there.
Now the fight to get rid of this rat trap. A current affair next.
At Macca's, we believe supporting Aussie farmers is bigger than all of us. It's why we only use 100% Aussie beef and RSPCA-approved chicken. And for us, this is just the beginning.
The Macarthur River Mine, producing minerals for products we use every day. Job opportunity, developing lifelong skills, remote regions, supporting community projects, investing in locals, nurturing future generations. How are they all connected? Through one natural resources company, Glencore. Discover how we're connecting possibilities every day.
Silks Darwin, Dickwood Drive, Fanny Bay.
The Beds R Us Aussie-made price blitz is on. This Sleepmaker Miracoil Hillier queen size just $9.99. Huge range of sleepyhead mattresses and adjustable beds, all on sale now. The home of Australian-made mattresses.
The new Ford Escape doesn't need a dramatic location. It doesn't need an expensive bike on the roof or a fancy lighting setup. It doesn't need a world-renowned music track or a focus group-approved family or a cute dog or even an expensive voiceover.
The all-new Ford Escape, starting from only $35,990 drive away.
This weather alert brought to you by Fridge Leg. We've got the stock. Be cool and comfortable. Fridge Leg, your Dakin air conditioned specialist.
Hello again. Those severe thunderstorm warnings that we issued this afternoon for the Daly and Arnhem districts, they have now been cancelled, with the slow-moving thunderstorms now moving south, and a fresh warning has now been issued for the Carpentaria district, with heavy rainfalls expected there. Not much rainfall for Darwin today though. Let's take a look, and Darwin reached a top of 32 degrees and right now it's around 25 degrees in the city. Taking a look at the satellite, a cloud band with extensive thunderstorm activity stretches from the Kimberley across the Territory's top end and North Queensland to the Coral Sea, associated with an active surface trough there. For the capitals tomorrow, for Brisbane Brisbane. 25 for Sydney, expecting a few showers there too. Canberra is in for a partly cloudy 21-degree day. A degree cooler in Melbourne. Some cloud cover for Hobart as well, 22 there, and 23 for Adelaide. And sunshine is forecast in Perth, reaching 32 degrees. Back home, and showers and a possible storm in Howard Springs, a top of 30. Slightly warmer for Katherine with a shower or two after more rain hit the area last night, causing flooding. A fairly hot one in Tennant Creek, 39 there. Sunny, expecting to hit 33 and 35 in Yulara. On the Darwin Harbour, seas below 1 metre, north to northwesterly 10-knot winds, a low tide of 3 metres around 10:30 a.m, rising to over 6 metres at about 5:20 in the evening. Time now to find out our catch of the day winner, and today, congratulations to Tegan. She hooked this 35-centimetre tricky snapper off Perrin Islands with a fishing charter, and if you too think your catch deserves a prize, 9.com.au. Showers and a possible storm for Palmerston tomorrow, reaching a top of 30 degrees. It's the same story in Humpty Doo, and for Darwin, a high chance of showers also set to hit 30. And looking across the next week, the clouds will hang about until at least Monday, with showers expected over the next 7 days. Paul, comfortable temperatures in the city. Warm conditions in the central districts should settle down from Thursday.
Thank you, Tal. You see you tomorrow. Finance now. The share market recorded its first positive day in a week, and the Australian dollar has pushed higher. Here's Chris Kohler.
Travel companies took off on all the talk of easing restrictions and vaccine rollouts today. Qantas and Sydney Airport both surged as the market lifted. And then there was Bank of Queensland. Shareholders will be doing cartwheels after a 13% jump today. It's hoping to compete with bigger banks by taking over rival MeBank. In the losers column, there were tech companies today. Microsoft and Apple both down on Wall Street, and our tech fell sharply too. The Australian dollar touched a 3-year high before backing off. It now seems to have 80 US cents set in its sights. For now, it's at 79.2 US cents, 65 euro cents, and 56.2 British pence.
That's 9 News. Good night.